There's no zoom in this stupid thing.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you gathered here this evening. Parents and families, guests of honor, friends of VXL, guests of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take just a minute to make the mundane announcements first for the benefit of all the parents gathered here. Could I request all of you to please switch off your cell phones? For the parents, I would like to request you to please wait till the end of the program, which will be around 7 o'clock. Your children will be fed and they will be up. After the show is over, they will be up. And like every year, you will have to collect them at 7 o'clock from their class teachers. I request you not to come forward and take photographs because we do have an official photographer, and as we've seen from the last years, the children do get disturbed with the flash bulbs. We have a videographer and a photographer who will take photographs of the children. We have a panel discussion at 6:37, after which the show will be over, so I request all of you to please be seated till then. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to have you all with us today as VXL celebrates another annual day. This annual day is a little more special because we complete 10 years in 2012. For 10 years, VXL has been providing education and therapy to individuals with special needs and also contributing to the infrastructure to go with these services in the form of developing special educators, supporting and healing families, and spreading awareness. It gives me added pleasure and I deem it a great privilege to welcome in our midst our chief guest for the evening, Mr. Masanori Nakano, Consul General of Japan in Chennai. Mrs. B. Sundari, our Managing Trustee, will present a token of appreciation to the chief guest. Welcome. Welcome you and your wife. Our guest of honor this evening is Dr. Matthew Belmonte, who is a Fulbright Nehru Research Scholar. He's been a guest of Chennai for the last 1 week and has spent considerable time with us. His topic of research is autism, and he will be speaking to the school parents and all those interested individuals on the 17th of March. Dr. Vasudha Prakash will now present him with a gift from VXL. I also welcome many of our special and esteemed guests who've always been there for us. Mr. Kandaswamy, you're one of them. R.R. Sir, you're one of them. And I also welcome Mr. Krishna Ghag from ILNFS, who's flown down specially from Bombay for this occasion. Ajita will now honor him from VXL. Jairaj from Kuruvilla Jacob Initiative and your wife are very, very welcome to VXL today. 10 years ago, VXL was created, and this year it almost seems like a well-planned, almost orchestrated act that we would present the story of creation. But it really is not that coincidental. The stories of creation and its stories of creation from different mythologies are a part of the Grade 3 curriculum, and we found that there was a great deal of interest, volition and understanding generated in the children. On further exploration, the theme seemed to pervade the whole school, and so we began this whole process. So now, dear friends, at this point, I'm going to take a slight detour from the welcome address and the VXL story to tell you a little about creating the story of creation. Like always, a production of this nature takes about 8 weeks of rigorous work, and during this period, teachers almost make a subconscious note of where children begin as a baseline for some skills, and very consciously note where the child reaches as the whole process transforms him. This process, which I call transformation, is evident as we see the shy, reticent child being able to glow like the sun, move his hands in rhythm, and take center stage. It is indeed a transformation to see a child who cannot write an answer independently or even retell an event when asked, recite the entire narration, remember the sequences of movement for a particular scene. Transformation again, to hear Amrit saying, I want to be an actor, I want to move my shoulders like this. Transformation alone explains the discipline which our teachers have been working, discipline that we've been wanting to teach Mani Bharati to stick to his boundaries, and it really wasn't possible. During this production, he has learned to come and dance only on cue. It's absolutely a great feat for him. The examples are endless, the process so gratifying that for us teachers, it's like our goals for social, cognitive, motor and language skills have already been met in a stress-free and enjoyable way. There has been a great deal of inner work too. Children have learned discipline, patience and tolerance like no other direct teaching could have ever done. The use of 7 lively arts in our curriculum has been a significant one. And in this presentation, we've mostly used music and movement, color and cloth as mediums to tell our story. So do look out for the purple gold heaven, children moving as water. Yes, it took us weeks to distinguish between and learn the flowing, fluid, lackety movement of water and the molding, growing, pulsating movement of the earth. Further on, there is angry water and then there's gentle waves. There have been many firsts in this year. In some scenes, we have children performing independently with no teacher or guide to help. Children auditioned for their parts this time and many of them chose their own roles. Children of grade 5 wanted emotion and heartbreak in the narration. This story is of Iru, the creator, who calls for his 7 angels, the 7 planets, to help him create this universe. So they take 7 days to make heaven, earth, light, sky, sea, land, water, and all the creatures therein, including man. Man, the finest creation, is left in the Garden of Paradise with strict instructions of not to eat the apple. Man does, of course, on suggestion of the snake, and he's banished from the garden. Iru, who is all forgiving and merciful, understands their pain and plants hope in the heart of man and asks them to uphold his light. The scenes are imaginatively constructed and borrowed from different mythologies. The side screens will also tell you the story in slides, but my request to you parents and dear friends is to please look more at the stage than the screen to spot your loved ones and appreciate every little move that they make. I don't need to tell you that it is a struggle one for a child with autism to be part of the group and imitate what everyone is doing on cue. It is a struggle one for a child when she can remember a sequence of 5 to 6 movements and walk the stage for her moon dance. It is a struggle one for a child with hypersensitivity as he is able to cross the stage in silence. Dear friends, thank you for your attention. as I took you behind the scenes for a bit. And now we return our attention to the stage, where now unfolds the story of creation.
It was in a time that you could perhaps call long ago. There was a great darkness that spread slowly into a vast expanse of space, and it was very still. There was a great silence upon this darkness, and it sat, waiting and watching until the time was ripe. Eru, the great guardian of this darkness, rose in the ripening of time. He was clad in green and had upon his head an emerald crown. In his hand he held a staff. His neck was adorned with a single chain made of the tiniest stones that twinkled like the stars. Eru walked around in the darkness and closed his eyes restfully. And then he called forth his 7 angels.
Angels, come forth.
And when his 7 angels came forth, he gave to each of them a gift.
To you I give the gift of light, to shine when all grows dark, and I give you the strength of hope when hearts begin to fade. I call thee Sun. Go forth, my child, and share your gift with all you meet.
He bowed to Eru and promised to do as he had asked. And thus was born the sun.
To you I give the tide. You shall command the water. At your will, the tide will rise and slowly wash and carry. I call thee moon. Go forth, my child, and share your gift with all you meet.
Eru held her hand, and she promised to do as he had asked. And thus was born the moon.
To you I give the gift of fire. When all around is cold, you shall ignite in all you meet the wish to get back home. I call thee Mars. Go forth, my child, and share your gift with all you meet.
Eru touched his head. He bowed and promised to do as he had asked. And thus was born Mars.
To you I give the gift of speed, to fly when the hour calls forth, to deliver my word or thought or deed. These wings will help you make haste. I call thee Mercury. Go forth, my child, and share your gift with all you meet.
He flew around Eru and promised to do as he had asked. And thus was born Mercury.
To you I give the gift of wisdom, to shine unto the rest of right and wrong, and now and then you shall know the best. I call thee Jupiter. Go forth, my child, and share your gift with all you meet.
Iru placed a crown upon his head. He bowed to Iru and promised to do as he had asked. And thus was born Jupiter.
To you I give the gift of love and the gift of sacrifice, to do for another with grace and softness and surprise. I call thee Venus. Go forth, my child, and share your gift with all you meet.
Iru danced with her. She bowed down to Iru and promised to do as he had asked. And thus was born Venus.
To you I give the gift of silence, which will help you meditate, and while you sit in peace, the rest will feel your power. I call thee Saturn. Go forth, my child, and share your gift with all you meet.
Iru placed around him a ring. He bowed to Iru and promised to do as he had asked. And thus was born Saturn. And so in the time that Iru called his 7 angels, he smiled upon them all. He blessed them with gifts and then sent them forth. And the angels 7 set out to carry out Iru's words and make his dream come true. At first, the sun went forth. He climbed on Iru's mountain and looked down. Into the darkness, he began to spread his light. And the light went into the dark. But the darkness was thick and strong. Slowly the sun worked. Singing of hope and strength, he worked through time. And he created a big egg which was made of light and dark. The sun then smiled and began to cast his final spell. Slowly he broke the egg into heaven and earth. To heaven he sent the heavenly angels, and the earth was a great mass of swirling oceans, and in between he spread his light.
Day 1. Heaven, earth and light, and all around was very bright.